I'm gonna start from basic terminology, network security terms, okay, and we will go forward slowly. So network security terms means asset, vulnerability, exploit, threat, attack, risk, and countermeasures. These are the common network security terms. What is asset? It is assets mean anything which organization invest, which these assets belong to organization, anything which is valuable to the organization. An example of asset maybe as properties, maybe as vehicles, maybe heavy equipment, plants, building, employee, computer, data, anything. So in network security term, we call them assets. And I give you an example of assets. It may be a devices, it may be an employee, computer, anything. Second term is vulnerability. What is vulnerability? Any weaknesses in the system, we call it vulnerability. Weaknesses means it can be in the system, it can be by design, it can be by nature, and it can be application based, it can be protocol based, and it can be in an operating system. So we call them vulnerability. And human as well. Suppose me and you, we all. Some human very soon they become angry by nature. This is their vulnerability, weaknesses. Some people are very cool minded. Whenever you say whatever you tell them, they will say nothing. So this is called vulnerability. So vulnerability can be by design. Maybe when they want to deploy something and they forgot to put something there. So later on, the hacker used that design and hit your server and hit your network to get access. So this is called like in Windows as well. Every week they have a new patches to install because there are so many weaknesses like LTM as well. Last week they released a new vulnerability. They say there is a vulnerability. You have to patches them to secure the device. And by protocol as well. So I will give you an example by protocol. I can give you an all example, but just to show you how and what is vulnerability. So let me go to, so this is my web server and also telnet server. Okay. And these are my two clients here. Let me put a Wireshark here. Start capture. Just to show you a vulnerability. Don't worry about the setup, what I done. It's not our point to learn this one. So, and let me click from here. This is the client. IP address of the server is 192.168.12.100. Okay. So I start capturing here by Wireshark, and from the client side, let me do a telnet, because by nature telnet is a vulnerability. It send and receive the traffic and clear text. So this is we call a vulnerability. So telnet, okay, 192.168.12.100 is our server. Telnet, sorry. And username is admin I put there, and password is 123, and show running suppose. And let me go here. So we capture telnet traffic here. Let me type telnet only, so we can filter them easily. Click on any traffic and go to follow TCP stream. Look at our username is admin, our password is 123, and show running, everything is visible. Why? Because telnet is unsecure at sending and receiving traffic and clear text. So this is their vulnerability by protocol. Another example is HTTP. Let me send the HTTP traffic from this client. And let me type our web server IP, which is 12.100. So admin is the user and password is 123. So this is my server. I use HTTP traffic. Let me go to Wireshark, and this time I say I don't need HTTP telnet. I need HTTP traffic. So this is the HTTP from 12.2. 12.2 is this client. 12.100 is server, 12.1 is this one, and 12.2 is this one. This is the Docker. I will show you how to install Docker in the GNS3. So when I click here, this is the HTTP traffic. Right click and go to this time follow HTTP stream. And look at everything is visible here. Whatever this one, server 1 and everything is visible here. Authentication, okay, let me take the second packet because it's showing in the second packet. Follow HTTP stream. And it will show you the username and password as well. Why? Because HTTP by nature and Telnet by nature is sending and receiving the traffic unencryptedly and clear text. So this is called vulnerability, and these two protocol, they have by nature vulnerability. Now going to the third one, exploit. What is exploit? Exploit is the method, techniques, formula which you use to get the detail and use the vulnerability and damage the server. So which tool I use to recognize that the password of telnet is 123 and admin is the user? I use Wireshark before I use here telnet because it's more visible. So let me show you this one. Follow TCP stream. There is 123 and admin is the user. So this Wireshark is called exploit. I use Wireshark, which is an application, and I exploit the telnet and HTTP to get the detail of the server. So I attack on HTTP and telnet, use the vulnerability because these two protocol has vulnerability. I'm giving an example. There are so many vulnerability in everything. There is a special website which I can show you, and you will find everything vulnerability there. But this keyword we call them exploit. So now we know exploit, we know vulnerability, and we know assets. Let's go to another network security term, that is threat. Threat means anything which is danger to your asset, and asset we know. Anything related to organization we call them assets. It can be accidentally triggered or it can be intentionally or unintentionally. So we call them threat. There are so many threats. Spyware, hacker, virus, so many keyloggers. We will see keylogger as well. Lost data, Trojan. So many thing which is threat. Like the threat maybe you are facing. Like nowadays you cannot go out due to coronavirus. This is a threat to you. If a huge traffic is going in the road, so you cannot cross the road, this is a threat for you. So many things. The same case is in your system, your design, your network, and everything. There are so many threats to your organization. So any potential or directly dangers to your asset, we call them threat. Okay, we know threat, and there are so many things. There can be worm, virus, Trojan, and so many things which we will discuss later on. Now another terminology is attack. Attack is defined action you take to attack on the assets to harm them. Now I know the username and password of that server. Now I can attack on that server. There are so many attacks, flooding attack, CDP flooding attack, sync flooding attack, make them down, service down, DOS attack, DDoS attack. You can capture the data, you can go to the system. So many things you can do. So this thing we call them attack. An action which you take to down the server, the network, whatever. We call them attack. Another thing is risk, which is another network security term. Any potential loss, either compromise and damage, which destruct your network, we call them a risk. Like using telnet, it's a risky job in your organization. If you are using telnet to access your device, telnet is basically a utility when you access your device remotely, just like a team viewer, either any desk, but command based. So potentially when there is something instead of telnet, you can use SSH and any many other method, either VPN to make telnet traffic encrypted. So this type of thing we call them a risk. And now the last network security term is countermeasure. What is countermeasure? Countermeasure is the initiated when you take to secure your organization, your network, your services, your devices to mitigate the threat. And we just saw the threat. What is threat? How we can protect? In this same case, what can I do? Everybody can see my telnet traffic. What is the countermeasure? So the countermeasure is, rather than to use a telnet, go to the server and configure SSH, which is the alternative of the client. So rather than to use a telnet, now I can go to client, because SSH I already enabled there, and I will say SSH dash L and username, and the IP address is 192.168.12.100 is the server IP, and password is 123. I put them. Now rather than to use a telnet, this time I'm using SSH, and let's see the traffic again. But this time I will say show me the traffic for SSH. Why is not there? Okay, maybe I stopped them. So let's go back, stop, and we can start Wireshark from here. Okay, and let me close this, open 3 times, so it's okay. Okay, let me close this session and do connect again. 12.100 123. Okay, and here we will see SSH is there or not. Okay, so it's not showing me SSH. Oh, 12.100 is my server IP or not? I'm hitting something else. Show IP interface brief. Yeah, 12.100. Okay, let me go back just to show you. I don't know, for some reason it's not showing me 12.100. Okay, anyway, let me see all the traffic. So telnet is there. Okay, so it basically, due to this Wireshark, sometime it will not show you. So let me off this one. On my server sometime it's showing like this, and let me on this one again. Okay, and start. So the countermeasure is, I'm just giving an example. Rather than to use a telnet, use SSH, and rather than to use HTTP, use HTTPS. So in this way you can secure your network. Okay, so let me go back now and go to console, and from client let me do SSH, but before doing SSH let me capture the traffic again. No need from here, let me capture from here. And let me start the Wireshark. Okay, this time is correct. So let's go to client. SSH-L admin is the user, 192.168.12.100 is the IP address. So it said destination is down. So let me go to server Okay, it's not yet on. Okay, so just wait a while. Let them on, then I will check from here. So this technique is called countermeasure. And this way, as a security professional, you have to mitigate all the threat. It can be anything, but I am giving you an example of telnet and HTTP. Okay. Oh, it's taking too much time. So let's go to, so basically a common security term is not a one-time job. Keep in mind this network security term which I told you. It's like a circle, because maybe you protect SSH, but there is a vulnerability in SSH version 1 as well. So it means you have to use SSH version 2. And it's not that you say, okay, I have a firewall, I have IPS, and I have everything, so now I'm protected and I will sit aside and everything will be do my devices. No. Every day and every minute and every second there is a vulnerability, there is a weakness, there is a way to attack. It means this is a fight between, as a security engineer, you and the hackers. You protect the device and they have another solution. You protect that method and they have another solution to attack on you. So my main theme is that this is like a circle. There are so many threads which they can use the vulnerability, and you are exposed due to this vulnerability, and they will exploit, and there is risk which you didn't measure them. So the way is to take a countermeasure after every second or after every week, after every month, to protect your assets. Again, it will be compromised by another way, and then they will attack. Again, there is a vulnerability. Again, you have to protect, and same way it's like a circle to move around. Okay, so my server is okay now, and let me go to SSH 123. And this time I will say, rather than to telnet, show me SSH. This SSH version 2, and I follow TCP stream. Look, it is a garbage data. Nothing can you see. This is a countermeasure. Why to use a telnet? Because everybody can hack their data and can see anything which you are sending and receiving. So we use SSH. And the other client, rather than to use a what is called HTTP, there is a HTTPS as well. HTTPS this time, and I will say 192.168.12.100. Okay, so it's securely, maybe the server is not up or something, but the traffic I can show you here. Now this time I will say I don't need HTTP, I need TLS traffic. TLS is basically HTTPS. But this time if I see follow TLS stream, okay, you will see nothing, means the garbage data. It will be encrypted. Maybe my server is for some reason down, so let me see. I can enable IP HTTP secure server. Okay, so it's already there by the way. And IP HTTP authentication local, and user I already created. So let me try again now. Okay, this time is okay. Advanced, and let me go to add exceptional because it's asking the certificate. Admin is my user there which I created, and 123 is the password. Now I access the server, but this time with HTTPS, not an HTTP. And when you go to here and say TLS, okay, and try now any, we have so many traffic now exchange. And if we go to follow TCP stream, why for some reason it's not showing me, go to another page. So it will be garbage data. This is the main point to show you. So let me try again. Any, it's better to use TCP as well. Okay, TLS. Okay, for some reason it's not showing me. It has to show me, by the way. Yeah, it will be like this. It's the garbage data, but anyway, I need to see TLS. Okay, for some reason it's not showing me, but it will be encrypted just like a SSH as well, which I show you here, encrypted packet. So this is called countermeasure. Okay,